Hey, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus, on Facebook, and all the social media platforms. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi with an update about what you can expect from our upcoming winter storm. I'm going to take a lot of your questions. Now, there's one caveat to that. I will answer every question except, or I'll try and answer as many questions as possible, except for how much snow at my house. It's something we always get with these snowstorms is how much snow am I going to get at my house? If I go through that, that's really boring, right? You don't want to watch me sit around and just spit around how much snow is going to fall in your house. I'll give you, of course, a general rule. I'll show you all the fancy maps. I'll show you all that stuff, and I'll take your questions. But again, please, let's avoid the how much snow at my house questions for today. But let's start things off with a bit of an overview about what you can expect from our upcoming winter storm. So the snow's going to arrive pretty quickly overnight tomorrow morning. By the way, feels impossible to believe, right, that we're talking about snow. We already hit 60 degrees here in Denver for the first time since late December, officially out at the airport. Got up to 60 already so far today here in town, but that'll be a distant memory by this time tomorrow. It's going to be snowing, it's going to be cold, it's going to be by this time tomorrow. But 3 to 6 inches of snow most likely for us in the Denver area. I'll show you the confidence forecast here in just a second. Highest totals and impacts will be west in the foothills, especially as you get north of I-70 and north, so Fort Collins. This is going to be a pretty good storm for friends up in Fort Collins for all our Rams up there in northern Colorado. All right, so winter storm watches, warnings, advisories in place. You can see them in teal. Those are winter weather advisories. That includes Denver. Winter storm warnings in red. And you might notice that little shade of orange in southern Colorado. If you kind of squint, take a look. That is the first ever blizzard warning that has been issued for Wolf Creek Pass in southern Colorado. It's going to be basically a snow hurricane up there in southern Colorado, where 70+ mile-an-hour winds, 2 feet of snow possible. And by the way here, folks, I mentioned this morning as well. If you are thinking about using Highway 60, Wolf Creek Pass tonight or tomorrow, forget about it. Do not use Wolf Creek Pass. I'm guessing they're going to close it. That'd be pretty good guesses that they're going to end up having to do that. But just in case they do, they don't close it, do not use Wolf Creek Pass tomorrow. Just avoid it by all means necessary. It is going to be horrible. Wolf Creek Pass is normally a really bad drive in the winter. Tomorrow it's going to be exceptionally bad, if not impossible, to get over. All right, HD Doppler radar. It's quiet for now. You look off towards the north and west. That's the storm system taking shape. By the way, southern Idaho, that's the cold front is right now. Boise, Idaho dropped its temperatures by about 25 degrees this morning as the front moved its way on through. If you remember that cold front, that really kind of powerful front that we had in late December, a couple days before Christmas, I think it was December the 22nd when that cold front moved through. It's going to be a similar feel tomorrow morning with a front that kind of comes out of nowhere. It will bring a good bit of wind with it, and it will drop those temperatures very quickly and very noticeably come tomorrow morning. All right, let's walk you through the forecast. In the mountains along the north of I-70, we'll see that snow first start to develop around 6, 7 o'clock or so this evening. So I think throughout the day today, if you got to use Highway 40, Rabbit Ears Pass, I-70, I think we're mostly okay through the day today. It's tonight after dark where that snow starts to develop. The heavy stuff moves in overnight. So overnight's when the heaviest snow will move its way into the mountains. And we're going to be seeing that snow drop its way down here into the Denver area as well. Sometime just before dawn or around dawn is when that snow will kick into place for us here in the Denver area. Front moves through, again, pre-dawn. By about 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's probably snowing pretty heavily. And then by about 10, 11 o'clock or so tomorrow morning, the heavy snow over and done with. And then we could see some maybe bursts of snow later on through the day. But most likely, once we get to about 10, 11 o'clock or so tomorrow morning, the majority of the accumulation will be over and done with for us in the Denver area. So closer look in here at the Front Range. Again, I think we see the snow first develop, maybe starting as a brief mix, maybe as a little bit of rain, a little bit of mix that could leave a little layer of ice underneath all the snow. So I think tomorrow morning's commute is going to be really nasty. I'm mostly concerned about the morning commute tomorrow. Again, little ice below the snow. I think it'll be snowing during the commute as well. So that snow will probably be fairly heavy throughout the morning commute. Could see quick bursts of 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour during or before the morning commute. So again, I think the morning commute is going to be the trickiest time for us here along the Front Range. Then by about 7, 8 o'clock or so, the snow entirely comes to a close. Some leftover mountain snowfall for Thursday and Friday, but we're done with the snow here along the Front Range. Closer look in terms of that snowfall forecast. This is a European model, which continues to kind of tick down with its forecast snowfall total, so then to keep an eye for. But I think here in the Denver area, here's a rough guess about what to look for. I think downtown Denver, we're going to be looking at 2 to 6 inches worth of snowfall. I think most of us end up on the lower end of these total ranges. So in the Denver area, I think most of us come in with 2, 3, maybe 4 inches worth of snowfall. West of I-25, that's where you start maybe seeing some 4s, some 5s, maybe even some 6s mixed in there. And then Boulder on north, I think that's where you're starting to see some 7s, some 8s, even some 9s and 10s on up into the Boulder and northern foothills, western Boulder County, western Larimer County, and then Fort Collins, 4 to 8 inches of snow, and I wouldn't be surprised you end up on the higher end of that range. Meantime, in Denver itself, this is the way I kind of try and tell you this, is I know sometimes I get some jokes about this, about showing this, I feel like a Vegas odds maker or something like that. But that's really what we are here, folks. When we're predicting the future, just as a reminder, when we're issuing a weather forecast, not doing this to straddle the fence or to cheapskate a little bit, but remember, we are predicting the future. So there are small things that can make big differences in the weather forecast. So the way I like to tell you this, rather than saying, oh, this is what exactly is going to happen, I'd rather tell you, here's what I think the probabilities of the snow are going to be. So I think most likely we end up with about 3 to 6 inches of snow here in Denver. Again, probably on the lower end of that range. I do think if we only get that front little burst of snow during the morning, we don't get any snow the rest of the day, then we could end up with some even 1s and 2s and 3s here in Denver. So I think there's a 30% chance of that. So again, that's a not nothing chance. There's also a chance if we get a jet stream induced snowfall band that kind of sits over the city and it just keeps the snow machine turned on all day, then we end up with maybe 7, 8, 9 inches worth of snowfall here in Denver. I don't think that's very likely, but I think there's a chance for that. Now, final thing before I start answering your questions, I do want to take a look at the wind chill forecast because I've been talking about a lot about the snow and the impacts from that. Do not overlook the fact that it's going to be really, really cold here. Right now, again, 60 degrees, go out for a walk, take the dog for a walk, because come tomorrow, go for a jog, whatever it is, just go outside today because tomorrow, look at this, 9:30 in the morning, wind chill, what it actually feels like on your skin, 6 degrees, and only gets worse through the day. Those temperatures drop as we head through the day tomorrow. Wind chills will be around 0 by tomorrow night, and will be sub-zero wind chills by Thursday morning. So again, it is going to be really, really darn cold, and do not overlook that within all this. Then we warm things up pretty quickly. So the good news is we'll be back into the 50s by the upcoming weekend. So just kind of some things on up a little bit before I pull up some of your questions here. I know I'm starting to get some of those. It does look like we are going to be looking at those temperatures on the really cold side throughout the duration of the storm. Cold front moves through tomorrow morning, probably before dawn. I think by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, it's going to be snowing most of the Denver area. And then I think we're looking at probably 2 to 6 inches worth of snowfall for most of the Denver area. Higher totals north and west of the city. So Boulder on north, Fort Collins, 6 inches plus looks pretty likely in those areas. In Denver, probably on the lower end of a 2 to 6 inch snowfall range. But hopefully it gives you a good idea about what to expect. Now I'm going to start going through your questions again, with the caveat that I do not want to answer questions about how much snow at my house. Not that I don't want to do it, but you get the point. I went through that ramble fest already. Getting a few questions about impacts out at the airport, and that's common. I saw that from Bill here, and I'm getting a few of these questions right now as well. So it does look like in terms of the airport, those impacts will probably be highest in the morning. I don't think it's going to be a terrible day at a DIA. I think there will be some issues. I think there will certainly be some delays, but I don't think the winds are going to be particularly strong. And during that burst of snow during the morning, I think we'll be talking about delays and some issues as a result of that. But I don't think we're going to be talking about any sort of widespread cancellations. Probably some cancellations, but not a horrible day out at the airport. And those impacts should be pretty limited. So hopefully that answers those questions about the airport. I'm also seeing a few here about schools and school closures. I think it's going to be a little dicey because for school closures in the foothills and up by Fort Collins and Greeley, I think we're talking about school closures, Boulder on north into Fort Collins, just because it's going to be snowing all day long in those areas. In Denver, maybe a delay would be my guess in through most of the metro area. I'm not a superintendent. I should probably back things up. I'm not a school superintendent. I'm just guessing what they're going to think based off of the forecast. There might be a delay, but kids, do your homework here in Denver because I think you're going to have school tomorrow. Maybe a delay. That would be probably what you're looking at this point. And that, at this point, seems to do it for the comments and the questions. I'm going to refresh here one more time just to make sure I'm not missing any. But again, if you got any comments, questions other than how much snow in my house, I will take those now. But it does look like that is it for those comments at this point. So I appreciate you all watching, and hopefully stay safe throughout the winter storm. Tomorrow, again, the worst of the impacts will probably be tomorrow morning. Then it's just really cold and light snow throughout the rest of the day tomorrow, with maybe a burst or two in the foothills and north of Denver tomorrow afternoon. But once again, I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. We'll have another update for you coming up at 9 News at 2 o'clock. I should say 9 News Plus here at 2 o'clock. And then Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabins in at 4 and 5. Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, and 10. So we'll be keeping you informed throughout this storm. Thanks again for joining us here on 9 News Plus, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.